What's up?
What's up, guys? We're back.
Hello.
We're back.
We're doing 6 episodes. Look at this consistency.
The consistency is insane.
Yeah.
If only you all did that in relationships.
There's 3 mics here. Who the fuck put 3 mics here?
Who brought this fellow on? Whose idea was it?
Yours, bitch. Ladies and gentlemen, hello, vanakkam. My name is Tanish.
My name is Kirtan.
And also for the first time in Chill and Spill is Joshua Michael.
Yes, and you're watching What She's Telling. Sorry, wrong podcast. You're watching Chill and Spill podcast. And today we got a special guest, Joshua Michael, as he introduced himself before I even bothered to.
Yes.
Somebody didn't.
Okay. Wow. What a man.
All right. Could have just done a sound effect for that. Too much effort. But, all right. Today we got the guest joining us for the first time ever. And today's topic, Ketan, what's today's topic?
Mistakes in our 20s.
Where the fuck is Joshua here?
I'm not Joshua. How old are you again?
Cue the music.
Alright, guys, so welcome back. So we're back here with Joshua. I'm not sure what he's doing here. We didn't really invite him, but he's here today.
Okay.
So episode 6, before we proceed, okay, so just want to thank you guys for all the love and support for episode 5, the whole thing about situationships. After reading the comments, the feedback I got from you guys, like on IG and all that, I realized none of y'all know what situationships are.
Yeah, so we decided to get into a situationship here.
Yes.
This is a 3-person sort of thing.
Yeah, a threesome.
Situationship. Trisulam.
This is off to a great start. Right. None of y'all knew what it meant. And anyway, before we get into today's episode, remember you guys can listen to this on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and also follow me, Tanish, and Ketan on social media. Joshua, it's okay, you got a lot more followers, so it doesn't get any.
Doesn't matter.
And
follow him, please.
And also follow Chill and Spill podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and our YouTube. We put up clips and everything, and that's also where on our social media is where you guys can send in your IG questions. Answers to our IG questions regarding the topic in that episode, which in this one is what the fuck was it again?
In our 20s, bro.
Mistakes
in our 20s.
Yeah, Joshua said he wants to come on as a guest, and we decided
The perfect topic would be talking about mistakes.
Mistakes in our 20s.
This will be one of the things you on in your 20s.
Yeah. In about 2 to 3 minutes, we'll realize that this whole thing was a mistake.
This whole thing is already a mistake. I've
But
already
Joshua,
realized
before
it.
we get into the topic, for that one fellow out there who's like, Yavanda, adu nadu ukkandhirukka, just introduce yourself. Quick one.
My name is Joshua Michael. I'm a mistake. Sorry. I'm a content creator.
This is a Durex ad.
I'm a content creator. I am Malaysian, if there's audience outside Malaysia. And I'm just a regular 30-year-old who's fading out what I did in my 20s and milking
30-year-old? Please be most precise
I'm
to the audience.
32 years old.
Oh, daddy.
Just a regular guy who's trying to figure out life.
Correct. So we want to talk about mistakes. So we brought on somebody who is actually, because both me and Ketan are 28 years old. And we are still in our 20s, right? So we also needed a perspective from someone who's actually
late 20s.
crossed.
Late 20s.
This is something else. This is not late anymore.
No, we
someone
are
who's
late.
actually done with their 20s and into their 30s to actually be able to completely reflect on the 10 years that was their 20s, right? Wow. So Ketan, let's get the ball rolling.
Let's get the ball rolling.
You're on your 20s.
Do you still have balls though at 32? It's just a curious question.
Sure. Is this show censored?
We try to keep we try to keep it as PG-13 as possible for today. We try to. Right?
Don't worry, I won't curse on the show.
Okay.
I was well brought up by my parents.
Back in the 60s. I'm sorry. Okay, therein lies the last age-based joke. Okay, sorry, we have to get it all out of the way.
Okay.
Okay, say, Ketan, what's the get it going. What's
Okay. So I'm gonna ask Tanish first this, okay?
Okay.
So do you look
Screw
back?
the guest,
No, we keep the best for the last.
Okay.
We keep it like that, okay?
All right.
So do you look back at your 20s with satisfaction or regret?
Whew, what a time to ask this question. Okay, in general, overall, I look back at my 20s, so far in the 8 years of my 20s in satisfaction. Joshua doesn't believe so, I think. But overall, it's satisfaction. But there is always, of course, like there's always going to be like certain stuff that I definitely know I made mistakes in. But I'm the type of person who don't tend to regret stuff. It's just, I did shit. I was of Abel's, what they call it, able body and mind, or sound mind and body, whatever. What's the word? What's the phrase? Basically, I knew what I was doing when I was doing stuff. So if I tend to, if I realize it's a mistake, I just live with it and I just move on.
Okay.
Ketan, what about you?
Okay.
Why?
Uno reverse to
You're surprised, is it?
I thought you were gonna go with Joshua next. Okay, all right. No, okay, for me
You already
personally.
say save best for last. What a prick.
Okay, but no, personally for me, I have zero regrets in everything I've done, because everything that I have done has brought me to where I am today, I guess.
Sitting
all
beside
the
me.
mistakes, all the mistakes I've made has always been a lesson. There are some things that I wish I kind of could have, or wished I would have avoided, you know. And but honestly, zero regrets. Bro.
Regrets.
I fucking love life.
I'm calling bullshit right now. By the end of the episode, you guys.
Dude, I love life. I love my life exactly the way it is. I wouldn't change a single thing. And yeah.
Now, for a non-bullshit point of view, Joshua, what about you, man?
I would actually, to be very honest, when I sort of knew the topic, right, when I was coming here,
Of course.
up until like today, I had a very safe answer.
Okay.
Which is what you both bullshitted lah.
Okay.
Which is no regrets, no regrets.
No regrets.
Okay.
But the truth is, for those who know me, and I think I know Tanish probably a bit earlier than Ketan. I was a very late bloomer, literally. What I mean by that is a lot of things in my life happened. A lot of good things in my life happened very late in my 20s. I want to
Because
say
that's when I came in. And
no,
Mathu,
that's when I
and
started having some sense in what I do. Then I became
It also
friends.
corresponded with. Carry on.
So my answer to a very simple question, my answer would probably be: I regret a lot of things I did in my 20s.
Right.
I regret a lot of things that I had the opportunity to do, but I didn't. So that's what I mean by there's a lot of regrets for sure, because at the point that I started, doing things, I was already towards the end of my 20s, and now at the start of my 30s, I'm in my early 30s, I feel, damn, I wish 20s were a bit more longer. Damn, I wish, I had a bit more, couple of years in my 20s, which I think would have made, not to say my 30s are bad, I'm just barely 2 years into it, but I know I would have had even a better start.
But do you think whatever you wanted to, like whatever you regret and you feel like you could have done earlier in your 20s, do you think you were like, you can't do it now that you're in your 30s?
No.
Is there something that actually divides that
Do you think your
actually
age
prevents you
limits
from doing it?
Yes, to be very honest. I know we are very used to positive thinking and optimism on Chill and Spill.
Okay.
But I'm here to give you all the truth, which is there's a lot of.
We've always spit the truth.
But the truth is that see, time is probably the most valuable thing in the world. As much as fancy quotes and positive thinking will lead you somewhere, but the truth is time will always laugh at you. And so when you waste your 20s, you can never say, I'll get back my 30s. No. F no. Yeah.
Okay.
So to answer your question, yes, I do feel I can't do certain things. There's certain things for sure that I could do in my 20s, I can't do in my 30s for sure.
Can you give us like one example?
I was gonna ask the same.
Health for sure. I wish I had gotten.
You wish you met me earlier, right?
Mental health, no. Because I think you've worked.
Because physical health improved, but mental health took a nosedive.
Physical health for sure. Keith and Raj, you made me slightly stronger. But mental health, you fucked me up in my head.
Every day.
But yeah.
5 times a week.
You're doing 5 times a week.
Yeah,
No wonder he's more messed up than I am.
This week 5 times.
That was actually, dude, that was such a good answer actually. Fuck, we should have started with him first.
I agree. For me, it's not that there's no regrets per se. There's definitely regrets. But to your question, do I look back at my 20s and what I see is more like if I were to see what I see more, I don't see the regrets. I see all the achievements. I see all the growth and I see all the stuff. And I do know when I do see the mistakes that I did, I tend to it doesn't. When I look at it, it doesn't look like mistakes to me. It looks like more like, I learned shit from this. And this is that point where I changed to become this type of person, that kind of shit. Like for example, in friendship, right? Back in my early 20s, there was a certain way I go about with friendship. I was so like, I was very, very controlling with my friendships. I'm like, everybody has to hang out, everybody have to do this, everybody have to do that. I spoke about this previously. If like my friends were not hanging out as often as I would like, I would get pissed off. I would get angry. I would try to get them to come and hang out and stuff like that. Eventually, that sort of bit me in the ass. You know what I mean? And I kind of lost certain friends because of that. And that sort of taught me stuff like, okay, you got to chill with this shit. This is not high school. You guys don't get to hang out every day. In your 20s, you are going about your life in a completely different way. You're adulting and all that stuff. And you also have to, as close as you are to people, you have to respect them as individual people with individual goals. And sometimes it's going to vary from what you want to do. And those kind of stuff are the stuff. I made mistakes. I lost people in my fucking 20s that made me then realize, okay, this is how I'm going to deal with friends from now on. And I'm still learning that stuff even now. I thought by around the 25 years of age, 26, I thought, you know what? I think I learned most of those lessons. Yeah. But then later on, it's there was still so many things that taught me like, shit, I thought I got this figured out. I thought I know who I am as a friend, what I do as a friend, or who I am as a boyfriend or as a husband or all that stuff. And then my 20s, in my 27th year or my 28th year, still came and like surprised me a lot and taught me that, okay, these are all these mistakes that you did. So I look back at it as a lot of stuff that I learned more than mistakes that I did. Ketan?
Yeah. No, for me as well, personally, I think the mistakes I made, if one thing I could really, okay, maybe there's this one regret, I kind of just wish I managed my finances better.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's get into some specifics.
Yeah,
let's tell
okay,
some
like
stories.
I kind of wish I managed my finances better in a sense where, like, because when you're younger, right, no one really teaches you stuff yet, if that makes sense. So when I say younger, basically, I started making money like maybe at the age of 22, 23, and it was a good amount of money, but I never managed it well. That means I would go out at night, I would just like swipe, you know, like just splash some cash here and there and stuff like that. Because you just see money come in, you just don't care. You just spend it, you know. But you're at that age as well at the same time. And you kind of want to just go out, you want to blunder your friends, you want to blunder yourself and all these things. But I never managed it well in a sense where like how you could save, how you could invest, how you could refinance everything and things like that. So I think that is my biggest regret actually, in terms of the regrets that I have in my early 20s, you know.
But don't you think it's just natural that at that time you just you don't do that shit and then later on you learn and stuff like that?
It is natural. That's why I guess it's a lesson learned eventually. But at the same time, I feel like I could have just put in a little bit more effort because that was never really a priority to me at that time. Right. Making money was a priority, but how you double up on from there, it was not
how you
a priority.
Manage money also.
Yeah, basically how you manage money, you know.
Speaking of money, I want to bring this back to Joshua. You had a huge shift in your
money. That would be nice.
No. Related to money, but not really money. You had a huge shift in your entire career and everything in your 20s. Was that in your 20s?
Late 20s.
Late 20s, right? So you were leading up to that in your late 20s and stuff. So that means we can easily say your 20s you had a particular line of career. You can explain this further after I finish this question. And then in 30s it's a completely different world, correct? So tell us about that. Like, do you think what you did back then was sort of like this is not what you were meant to do, this was a mistake that you finally rectified in a sense that do you feel like I finally figured out what I'm supposed to do, but it just took me longer? Or do you just feel like, you know what I mean, that's just what I was doing then, this is what I do now? How do you see that? Do you see that as like I was living this false life back then or something like that? You know, you get what you get my question? Yeah.
You know, like just to relate what
give them a bit of a context as to what I mean.
Correct. To kind of relate what you both said, right? There's two things in my 20s, going back to 20s, right? The two particular statements, quotes, whatever you call it, that has a very huge impact on how I now look back at 20s. My late mother used to always say this. She always says, the youth is wasted on the young. Yeah. Have you all heard that?
I heard the phrase yesterday while watching the series.
My mother says it in Tamil, but what English translation is, the youth is wasted on the young. What it means is, if you go to a 20-year-old now and you tell them, if you ask them what's the biggest ambition right now, what are they looking forward to? They'll say growing up. They will say, I can't wait to make my own money. I can't wait to probably get a girlfriend. I can't wait to go to a boyfriend. I can't wait to travel outside the country. I want to go study abroad. While if you go to, which means they want to grow up. They want to ideally they want to be 25. Right? But they will never ever, if you go to a 20, they will never say, I'm trying to enjoy being 20. rarely you'll hear it because the youth is rarely appreciated by the young.
Yes, that's very
So as a 30-year-old, if you ask me, I'm someone who who's to an extent is able to make money. I am able to travel. I have a very happy relationship. In that sense, if you ask me, one of the things that I wish I had is also youth. I wish I was younger. I'm not to say this is not important. What I'm saying is, most people rarely appreciate youth in that sense, right? So that's what I always mean, and that's statement number one. Statement number two, another one that had a huge impact on me is, if you think about it, as the both of you in your late 20s, you are literally as young as today.
Correct.
Next year you're 29. You're next year 29.
No, we are just turning 28 in
Same
September,
shit.
which is
Yes.
almost like a
I'm
year
still
away.
27.
Wow,
Plus,
you're
plus.
like young, but
I'm
not
still in
dumb.
my youth.
Think about maths.
I'm youth in my young
Quick
still.
maths.
Quick maths.
Another 2 years,
Yeah.
you are in your 30s, right? So you're literally as young as today. You're probably the youngest you've ever been in your life today. And again, as many 20s, 20 people in their 20s, I rarely appreciated youth when I had, I was the same old person who really couldn't wait to grow up. I wanted to make more money, as you said. I wanted to do anything, but I rarely paid attention to what youth brings. Youth brings a lot of things, but one of the most important things that youth brings to you is health. You are, most of us, and trust me on this, when you reach older age, you really appreciate what good health actually brings. When I was obviously in good health, when I was in my 20s, I really didn't give a shit about health. I was, for a lot of people who probably followed who I am from probably a couple of years ago, I was overweight. I am still, but I was even more in my 20s. I rarely gave any F's about weight or grooming or education. I obviously got myself a degree, but without any purpose for it. You get what I'm
It
saying?
was sort of like a autopilot thing.
Correct. And to answer your question, now moving to your question, only towards very late, I would say at 28, at 29, pretty much where you guys are right now, this was the time that I actually started thinking about, hey, maybe I should do something about myself. Maybe I should start investing on, myself. Could be health, could be money, could be career, passion. So that's what I mean. So obviously I had a huge shift in money. To your question, to put it more bluntly, I made 10 times more money than I've ever made in my 20s in 1 year. In my late 20s. I wish I'd figured that out in my early 20s. I'd have probably been a multi-millionaire by now. So you could never know what
that wasn't a sarcastic laugh. You know what? Carry on.
So that's what I meant.
Okay, but don't you? Okay, here's my thing also, right? Like we can always look at that kind of stuff and say, I wish I could have done that earlier. But I also think you need to have gone through and done all the things that you did that now you think were maybe insignificant, or maybe like you said, right? Like in your late 20s or late this thing, you could have whatever you did in your late 20s, that career thing and all that, you could if you could have done that earlier. But it required you to, at least in your career, the fact, because I know a lot about how you came about in your sort of career background, right? You need to have gone and worked that job. You need to have gone and done all that stuff, gained all that knowledge, made all that mistakes for you to eventually get to that point, that pinch point in your late 20s when things shifted for you. But do you think there was a way that you could have fast tracked it? Because I don't believe in that. I believe in that things happen on that.
See, that's the thing. I think
again,
I'm gonna probably share some of the things I find what usually people say, and there's no wrong. But to be very honest with you, a lot of things that you just said, don't you think you should have gone through all that to figure out life? The truth is no, because these are basic facts. What I mean by that is, and this is something that I tell myself and to a lot of young people there, you don't need Kirtan Raj, Joshua or Tanish to tell you, take care of your fucking health.
But we appreciate that you do. Please
if you do,
click on the subscribe button.
Please hit the thumbs up.
Honest truth. Because I always say this, there's a lot of young people in their 20s don't get that the truth of life is not with someone else. It's out there, with books, with videos, with most importantly with people. You see other people live their life, and that's the best lesson you can get. I didn't need I didn't need to be 28 and overweight and 175 kgs to think, you know what, I think I should probably lose some weight. I don't need to be 8 years into my 20s to get that. But this is a fact that I knew in my 20s.
Right.
My 19, when I'm 18. So that's what I'm trying to get at, which is, I know people romanticize that thing. எல்லாத்துக்கும் ஒரு காலம் இருக்கு, எல்லாத்துக்கும் ஒரு நேரம், all that stuff. But the truth is, no. It's harder to lose weight at 28.
Yeah,
I'm finding it, and actually I lost a lot of weight. For example, Ketan relate to this. Ketan understand this. I lost a lot of weight in my 28. I lost that much of weight, and then I put on weight, right, in my 30s. It's 5 times more harder to lose weight in my 30s now than I did in my year.
Yeah.
Because now I have a more serious career. I have more responsibility. I have more responsibilities. I have far more pressures outside, so I find it impossible to do it in the rate that I used to do in my 20s. That's what I mean. So do I have the same motivation? Yes, but do I have the same time? No. That's what I mean by certain things you can't do it in your 30s.
Right.
So that's what I'm trying to get at, which is, yes, certain things you have to go through to get to, to eventually get to the point. Maybe you can use that logic in certain things like relationships.
Because for me, relationship, and I also think career-wise,
correct,
stuff like that.
You have to kind of find your passion.
Correct.
There's default basic hygiene, I call it, which is health, and relationship. When I have family, for example, your parents are not going to be young forever. So I can probably spend time with my family when I'm 30s. No, your parents are not going to be the same in your 30s as they were in 20s. So those are the things I say. No, you can't get it back.
Correct.
Agree. Actually, that's pretty interesting the way he said it, especially specifically about health. Because my dad always gave me this advice as well. He always said, like, your health comes like the first. It's always health, then education, then money. Okay, family is like the top of the top, obviously, right? But health is always number one, because that's the one thing you have. Your body is like rent-free for the rest of your life. That is the one thing that you have. And I think in my case, I guess I'm pretty blessed in a sense where I kind of realized it pretty early on. So in that sense, and it helped me a lot.
I can tell.
Should I take off my hoodie?
No need.
We don't get cancelled. Okay, but so in that sense, I really agree with you on that part, actually. Because in terms of taking care of my health, I'm pretty sure once you started taking care of yourself in terms of your physical health,
life changed, dude. I'll be very honest. I always tell this, sorry, to add on to what you said. Yes, jokes apart, yes, Tanesh and Mathu played a huge part in my content creation journey. Like, obviously, to be very honest, I always copied, like sort of taken that route, right? I mean, but to be very honest, to get that confidence that, I can do that, is to be very honest, and I was physically more, what I call more confident. I used to tell this story to Tanesh all the time. I used to be very scared of taking a photo or like a selfie, only because I felt, I don't really look nice. The moment I took care of my health, the moment health became, a priority, life changes. Life just says, here's a path. Are you confident now? I say, I think I do, because I like looking at myself more now. I'll probably put myself in a video. 3 years later, we're doing a lot more stuff that comes to content, and that's only because I had the confidence at that point. So that's what I mean by saying, so when you take your health seriously, life kind of takes you seriously. I'll be very honest.
I agree 100%. 100%.
Okay, bringing this topic back to mistakes in your training. Let's speak about certain specific mistakes, right? Okay, so I think with Joshua, I think we realized that one of the biggest mistakes that you think is that you took health seriously very late.
You took it for granted at the start.
I think to put it specific, my mistake in my 20s is I didn't, to lack of a better word, I didn't give a fuck about health at all. I genuinely thought, being...
You're young. It's I get you feel invincible no matter what sort of happens, and whatever changes you see to your body, it's very, very gradual, that you always feel like it's not gonna be that bad, right? Okay, so Ketan, if there's one thing, obviously there could be many, but if there's one thing you have to pick that is like a mistake that you did in your 20s that you could fix,
or a person.
That's not. No,
go back to episode 1.
No. Go back to episode 1. No,
I mean, you mentioned finance, yes.
Yes, finance, yes. Okay, in terms of relationship wise, I have zero regrets, so I don't think I made a mistake in any of it, because I've never been like the best boyfriend or shit like that, honestly speaking, but I've always learned,
better. What the fuck are you doing?
Fuck relationships.
Relationships aside, okay, for me personally, I tend to trust people a bit too easily.
Right.
Okay, so when I say trust people, it's nothing to do with relationships. Completely relationships aside. It's more of like, okay, because I started getting into, like I said, okay, I started making money a bit more on the younger side, like 22, 23, and I started doing my own thing very young. So people would try to take advantage of that. But I never realized it, because I've always been the kind of person where my mom always told me, try to be as kind as you can. be a human being. That's the bare minimum you can do as a human being. Be kind, be loving, and stuff like that. So I always felt like, okay, that most people would have the same intentions, but unfortunately, no. So one of my biggest mistakes was just trusting people too easily in terms of like starting a business or investing money into something. So that basically is in that circle, basically more towards money still, all right, but just trusting people way too easily, like way too easily.
Because at that age you're just not polluted with like people could still fuck you up and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I did have people backstab me and all that in uni, but that's more of like rumors going around, and I don't give a shit about stuff like that. I couldn't really care less about like people's opinions of me. Like that never really mattered to me at all. But it's more of like me putting myself in a sense where, okay, I worked hard, I worked on my craft, I did all of these things, and I'm going to try to take the next step to go even higher. But the moment I do that, someone else kind of comes in, plays with whatever I've been trying to do, they manipulate me, they talk to me about stuff like that, and it kind of brings me down. So my mistake was just like kind of expecting everyone to have very similar good intentions and just helping everyone, because I always talk about grow together, let's grow together, but truth be told, not everyone is like that. So that I think is the biggest mistake for me, honestly.
So but don't you think if you, okay, that's your mistake, right? But if you don't do that, don't you think you're living a very cagey sort of lifestyle where you don't trust people, where you don't make... So like what I mean is, because you went through that, you said, right? And then you realized that you shouldn't trust people like that. Do you now like not trust anybody? Because I'm sure it's not like that. I'm sure you have to find that particular middle ground where you still need to put your faith in some people, but you cannot be blindly, to believing people like you used to be. So how do you find that?
Okay, for me personally, I don't trust anyone. Okay, it's very straight up. Okay, right. but I trust. I trust. Relax.
That made me
I trust my family.
Okay.
And I trust my friends who are like family, which is including both of y'all as well.
All right.
Okay.
So it took you a while to trust the
camera. But I've come to a point where I realized like I can never trust anyone from the very start or from the get-go. Okay. So I take my time with them, I understand. And then at a certain point, you can kind of just realize it over time. You know what I mean? Like with you guys, it's super easy. I kind of just vibed with you on day one itself, But with most other people, I'm very, very, very particular with who I talk to. And I'm also a very introverted person, actually. So that makes it a little bit more harder.
You know how I usually will deal with that sort of situation? Because it's, again, as I say, to Tanish's fair point, like earlier again, like don't you need to go through that to understand, right? Again, one of the things that I've sort of learned, which is a mistake in my 20s, I guess now I deal with it better, is I'm always a good guy, right? I mean, that's how we all are. I mean, like the thing most of us are in this world. So it's bare minimum. So it's not a good thing. Being a good guy is a bare minimum. So I'm always the good guy in any situation, but I'm not a nice guy. Does that make sense? So, so for you or for me, I'll just speak from personal experiences. I've always seen my being a good guy. I've always paid off. I've always paid off.
Yes.
But it only pays off when. But obviously, we all will go through certain situations where you will get into a situation where, for example, you say, okay, I sort of had like a financial issue with someone, right? In that space, you be a good guy. Now I think back, you can still be a good guy, but don't be a nice guy.
Don't be a nice guy, exactly.
So be a good guy, don't be a nice guy. Meaning, certain decisions. For example, I used to be in my 20s. I used to just be the nice guy. It's okay. Although any good person wouldn't do that. But if they did it, you being nice means you're enabling that that person to do something else for someone else.
Correct.
So again, I'm a good guy. I get it. Being good means you think well for people. But you see another person who's probably not thinking well for another person, don't be a nice guy and let that be an enabler. That's what I mean by So I think again, to just kind of give you as an anne in my 30s.
For the first time ever, it's Fliss admitted he's an anne.
I think you can be a good guy, maybe not a nice guy. That probably would solve a lot of our problems.
No, that's very true actually. Because I was actually a very nice guy. I was always the nice guy. Even since young, dude.
And we confuse. Sorry, just to add on. We confuse nice guy with good guy.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's very true actually. Because our intentions are good, but that doesn't mean you kind of need to put a mask on a little bit in a sense where like you don't be too nice, And it's very true actually. That was like the biggest mistake I actually had. In my 20s.
Me, my sort of one of the biggest, I wouldn't say mistakes, one of the biggest learnings I had. So I guess
is it some kind of mistake?
Sorry?
Kind of a mistake?
Yeah, it's
a mistake, but now it's a lesson.
Correct. So, because mistake to me sounds like something I did like this once, but it's more like the way I sort of lived my life in my early 20s. Like throughout my early 20s, or at least the first half of my 20s, compared to how I lived my life in the second half of my 20s, right? One of the things is somewhat related to what we're talking about, the nice guy, good guy thing. One of the things is that when I was in high school, I used to not be the popular kid. I used to be the kid who tries to get into a group, tries to be someone who everybody sees as an equal or this or that, but oftentimes failed or oftentimes felt like, okay, no, I'm just hanging out with these people, but they don't really value me. They just think I'm one of the guys. So I had that complex in high school. And so after high school, when I got into my early 20s, uni, and even into like basically into my early 20s, even as I entered uni, for a long time, I know who I was. I know what was my value. What do I bring to the table? It could come to work. It could come to a friendship group, or it could come to anything. I always try to be the person who, how do I put this? Always try to be the person who, not to say nice, but more like, okay, this is what I want, but this is what the entire group wants, or this is what this is what the entire group thinks. And so I always try to fit in a little bit because I wanted to be liked to a certain extent. Because I had that complex from back in high school.
People pleaser.
Yeah, sort of.
Pleaser.
Yeah, I used to have that. And it is not something like I used to feel like, I didn't feel like I was battling myself there. I didn't feel like, oh, I don't like this, but I'm doing it because I want them to like them. I somehow, when I look back at this, I somehow convinced myself that's what I like as well. That's what I want to do as well. You know what I mean? Because I was like, there was such a huge thing in me to try to fit into a group, to try to fit into, and when the moment sort of people see me as not just some guy who's tagging along. The moment people see me as equals and all that, it was an very addictive feeling for me. So I never wanted to do anything that sort of throws that away. Okay. I never wanted to. So let's say I feel myself as part of this group. I feel myself as part of all this stuff. It could be, like I said, it could be just a regular friendship. It could be work. It could be whatever it is. The moment I feel like, okay, people value me, people this thing, I wanted to keep it that way so badly that even when certain things that the group does or whatever, it's not something I would do. And I'm not saying some people doing bad things or people doing nothing like that. It's just, it could just be an activity that is just not my thing. You know what I mean? I'll force myself to go and try to do it and enjoy it and all that. And if I don't, I will feel shitty about it and etc. A lot of things. And a lot of times I would put aside what I want to do or what I want to individually try to, whatever my individual goals and ambitions, I I realized I was suppressing a lot of those things because I was trying to fit into that into a group or into this and that. Towards my late, and at some point, I don't think there was like a specific thing that changed this, but eventually I realized that the longer I keep doing this, the more I feel like I was just going to get lost in this. There was, at some point, I'm just going to be extremely just fed up with life because I'm not being me. I'm not being,
You're losing yourself in the process.
Correct. And eventually I'm going to resent whatever that is that I'm trying to protect here. I'm trying to be part of this group. I'm trying to be part of these friends. I'm trying to do all this. I'm going to eventually resent it because it's going to leave me with some form of like unsatisfaction. Is that a word? Unsatisfaction? Something like that. Dissatisfaction. Yes. Right. And at some point I realized in certain things in life, I have to be selfish. When I say selfish, it's not like I don't give a fuck about others, but more like I need to put myself first. And it is something that a lot of people are afraid to admit or afraid to acknowledge that
yes.
you are at certain, in most aspects of your life, you always have to put yourself first, because at the end of the day, you are all you have.
That is very
and
true.
only when you are at your happiest or you are at your best or you are at your most comfortable, can you then healthily maintain anything else, friendships, your work, your relationship, family, whatever it is. If you are suppressing or if you are not at your best and you are not trying to go for your goals, you are not trying to make yourself happy, you are sacrificing a lot of what you actually want in life because you feel like if I do this will be selfish to me. It's not. It's gonna run its course, as you call it. It's not gonna take you long. Eventually, it's gonna come to a point where it's gonna come to an ugly end, I feel. And that is something that I had to admit. And not a lot of people get this. People are afraid to say, "Yeah, I'm selfish. I need to put myself first." People are afraid to say that. That is something that I struggled with for a long time. But eventually, I sort of realized that to a certain extent, I have to be selfish, and that's the only way I'm living my life. And then if there is anything that doesn't fit into my life, with me being like this, like who I am, then maybe it's not supposed to be in my life. And the things that are really sort of meant for me, the things that are really that are meant for me, basically, like friends or whatever it is, would be able to fit into my life.
Yeah.
With me being who I am. It wouldn't clash. And I don't know if I worded that right, but that was one of the biggest takeaways I had. And sometimes it's still something that I sometimes struggle with certain decisions that I have to make.
It's funny that you say that, right? Because that's exactly what I was referring to. So what you just sorry to bring my psychological hat here. Student of psychology, can't help it. What you just described there is what I call personality type.
Okay.
Right. And then there's we call it conflict resolution types.
Okay.
So your way of resolving conflict is sort of looking internally, and you solve your own conflict first, and then you kind of move on to the next stage, right? What I always tell, like what I wish I told myself, again, going back to the topic here, is we have actually a whole 20s to figure this out. Many of us and many of younger people there, they don't take the time to, understand, actually, what am I? Who am I as a person? What you just described here might not really exactly to me. As we have kind of had this conversation in my late 20s, your mid 20s. We don't have these conversations with our friends. We don't try to understand how actually do I deal with the conflict. For example, just to kind of, I'm not sure, I mean, you can actually, I want to get to your answer in a while. But for example, your question, right? You say, okay, I put myself first. That's how I solve a problem, and then I move on to someone else. In another word, your jar has to be full for you to fill someone else. If you ask me, obviously I'm asking myself. In my case, it's the complete opposite sometimes.
Okay.
Like I always try to myself in my head is, I should not put myself first in certain situations, for example, because I feel sometimes I am not the focus here.
Okay.
Certain people have to take the main stage so that when I know it's my time, I will shine better. So again, not to say that what is right and what is wrong, but again, certain people, I spend a lot of this figuring out very late in my 20s because I have no time. Because I was thinking, I thought I had too much time. Only when life got serious, you think, oh shit, how do I? And that's when I started having problems with people. I started having problems with when we started our company. We have employees. Then I realized, okay, shit, this is, I have to kind of figure out what kind of boss I want to be, what kind of friend I want to be, what kind of someone in a relationship I have to be, a boyfriend or a friend. I have to figure out what kind of person I am first. The thing is, I took I only had like the last few years of my 20s to do this. I feel again going back, if I had spent my early 20s figuring out what person I am, I could be a way better.
You were just cruising through.
To kind of just put it on you on the spot. What kind of person you are in that sense? Like you've heard Tanesh, who is more of like I have
to be at peace internally on my own stuff first.
Internally, I have to be at my best. Then I move on to someone else, which is way of resolving things. Mine's the complete opposite, which is I sort of always say, is things around me okay? Then I sort of like then you circle back to yourself. Correct. What about you?
For me, it's definitely internally as well. I think it's a very good thing.
Probably. Look at us. Horoscopes. Episode 7 is going to be horoscopes.
No, but for real.
So you all believe in those things.
Mercury in retrograde. Actually, it'd be interesting to bring in somebody who's actually
I know someone who believes in numbers. I'll introduce you all later after the show is over.
All right.
Okay, but yes, for me, it's definitely an internal factor. All right. So whatever that's in my head, I suffer with like some forms of like anxiety, depression, and all that. And I'm not diagnosed with it. Okay, I self-diagnosed.
You know why you're not diagnosed?
Okay.
You didn't go to
because you never actually went.
You never go to a counselor or a therapist. Go get yourself diagnosed.
Okay, but in a sense where like I always have like this mind voice in me telling me like I'm not good enough. Okay, in a sense where it became very bad when I was even at a very younger age. But I never really spoke up about it, right? And it came to a point. The good thing with me is, thank God, I had a very strong level of self-awareness at a very young age. When I was 19, basically, I was already done in a sense of like, I just hate being like this. You know? So I realized it was all in my head, because people around me, the external factors are more of like, oh, you can't do that, you can't do this. You're supposed to follow the system. You're supposed to do this. So those are the external factors I had around me. But I started watching certain kind of content at that time, mostly all YouTube. There was no TikTok and all that back then. And everything kind of showed me like anything in life is actually very possible the moment you switch your mindset up, So that's when I realized it's a very internal thing for me, And the moment I switched my mind, I always tell you even in the gym, you guys like, don't want to carry heavy shit, and I'll be like, it's all in the mind.
Bullshit.
You know?
We've never say we don't want to
It's
carry
so-
heavy
it's-
shit. Don't just say this because that's what a typical person
No,
try
it's
to
not
say.
in the mind. It's in your muscle.
Yeah.
I got fat. You asked me to carry 50 kgs. You think it's not in my mind. My muscle say fuck you.
We don't want to carry it. We only tell you when we actually can't carry it.
Correct. No, it's not. You know what? You go carry the fridge. It's in your mind.
I probably
Cannot Kirtan Raj.
I will
Because you know
move
why?
it with my mind. No, but you know
We've been
exactly
training
what
the
I mean.
wrong muscles like this whole time.
You guys know what I mean. Okay, don't listen to them. They're bad influence. All right, it's all in the mind. But no, for real. For me personally, it was a very internal thing. The moment I switched it up, I started seeing a lot of changes on the outside as well. All right, and I started growing a lot more as a human being.
So to sort of answer sort of Joshua's this thing, you always have to tackle yourself first.
Yes,
and
100%,
then
100%.
No,
right.
tackle who you are
Yes.
first.
Yeah,
And the
correct.
answer can
Correct.
be, or you are an internal
Yes.
person, or you could be an external person. Doesn't matter. Again, that's it.
The terms you're using here is complete bullshit, but
Yeah,
you guys
yeah,
know
yeah.
what we mean.
You know what I mean
You
by
know,
that.
yeah, I hope you
Because
guys
there
know.
is, again, mistakes in our 20s, circling back to one of the mistakes that I think we all did in that sense, is there is so much time to understand who you are as a
Yes.
person.
And how
Correct.
you operate.
Correct.
Correct.
This
And
can
how
be
it
down
works.
to
Yeah.
conflict resolution, love languages, the way you deal,
Yeah.
the way you deal with people around you, people
Yeah.
in your family.
Yeah.
So again, we think we don't learn these things. This is who I am. No, if you think I will be an asshole and it's fine because that's who I am, you will struggle in your 30s.
Correct, correct.
I was just
You
talking to
definitely will.
someone. There's a lot of people in their 20s think they are the main character. Have you all heard of this
Yes,
thing called
yeah.
Main character
main
energy.
character
Yes.
energy, or this
Yeah.
TikTok people call it
Yeah.
main character syndrome. You're not the main character. Shut the fuck up. You're
Yeah.
just a character. Certain spaces you're the character. You're the main character. In most cases, you're just
Yeah,
a side
yeah.
character. Shut up and move on life. But some young people think they're the main character everywhere.
Yeah.
They think they're the shit. Basically.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing is that when we're talking about our 20s, right? It's the 20s. It is not to say this doesn't happen in your 30s or 40s, but your 20s is that
Golden decade.
decade where every single year, every single month of those years, you are, if you pay attention to yourself, you are learning a lot of
Yes.
things about yourself.
Yes,
And this is
100%.
not just by you being by yourself, but through your relationships, through your family, through finances, through career, through a lot of things. If you pay attention to yourself, if you have that self-awareness that Ketan just mentioned, if you just sort of tune into that a little bit, and if you put aside that ego and that pride, that this is a lot of people have I'm the type of person who, and they define this for whatever, like
Main character energy.
yeah.
Main character
No, but
energy,
on Twitter, we have these days, because of social media also, we have this idea of I'm this type of person, I'm that type of person. And then people, for example, people go on Instagram and put like, what do you call that? People who like music, they put a audio file.
Audio file.
Audio file
Audio file is what you use here to save the file.
and like people, I like Moon. I'm a whatever
ambivert.
that is called.
I saw one ambivert.
No, so because there is a lot of, because social media poses a lot of what type of person you are, sort of, it prompts you to think about that a lot. People tend to do that, but at a very young age, and then tend to try to stick to that.
Correct.
And for the rest of their life, for the rest of their 20s, right? But in your 20s, every single year can change you a lot.
It's like dog years. If you see, like for a dog, it's 1 year. For a dog, it's like 7 years. 7 years.
Yeah.
Same
Correct.
thing. 1 year in your 20s is like, I would argue, like 3 years in your 30s. Meaning the amount of stuff that I've learned from 20. If you realize the 24 and then 26, the age where there's 25 is you one year. Everybody's when you're 25, go find out.
look back
That's
at
where
it.
you would have learned probably everything about you right now.
Yeah.
Trust me, when you're 30, you realize shit, life is complete, I would call, like a very different world.
Yeah.
So 29 is okay ni. 29 I was chilling, I was having fun. Suddenly they call me a 30-year-old uncle.
Yeah.
I'm like, what fuck? I'm not 30-year-old uncle.
I can't wait to be 30 though. I'm quite excited.
Remember what I said about youth being wasted on the young?
Yeah. Youth being wasted on the young.
No.
Youth also wasted on the dumb.
I would like to think a little.
Don't go to gym. Don't go. You think you can move a fridge with your hand, with your mind?
I would like to think when I'm 30, in my mind I'm still 20. Does that make sense?
Ketan, I think I'm 15. No, the truth is no. I'm 32. I cannot wake up and not have coffee.
You don't have to.
You understand? I can't go to the toilet without coffee. There's a lot of stuff. You don't understand.
Wait, what? You
Yeah.
don't have, what?
I only go to poo-poo when I have coffee.
Same.
What are you drinking?
No, I had coffee ready.
Thank God.
Because we have to finish the episode. I
Oh,
can't have you
right,
be
bad,
leaving
yeah.
to the toilet.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, we're gonna move to IG questions. Ketan,
Wait,
should we
not
move
yet,
to-
not yet.
before
I
that,
wanted to-
okay.
wait,
But
wait.
I do want to sort of
I have
double
one
down
more.
on that
I wanted
point.
to ask one more question to you.
Okay,
I think it's a
okay.
fucking dope one again.
All right.
What's the one thing you wish you can tell your 19-year-old self before entering your 20s?
Okay, while Joshua tries to travel to the 19-year-old self, it's going to take a bit longer.
It's gonna take a
While
bit
we
longer.
answer
Thank
that
you for being
question.
I will tell now
consistent.
itself to the
Okay.
19-year-old me. I'll give him a call. Day, stop masturbating. That's the first thing. You're wasting too much energy on that
Then you
shit.
should call yourself like 1 hour ago.
Yeah.
I have.
Why you got tissue just now?
You'd be surprised. I've low-key kind of stopped. Okay, I'm kind of proud of it.
How long has it been?
2 days.
This can be a good teaser conversation.
been about
Okay,
like-
let's do it one more time. And actually, you stopped masturbating, Kirtan Raj?
Yes.
How long
yes,
has
sir.
it been?
3 days. 72 hours. You think that shit is easy?
Okay, that's impressive.
Yeah, you know why?
actually.
Impressive, right?
You've been busy. Like, you've
I've
been
been-
out. You just didn't have a room.
You want me to
Just-
ask you guys right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When was the last time?
Actually, got a while. But I have other reasons why I can't tell you on the camera.
Okay. What about you? I mean, is it like
I've-
a 30-year-old
I've-
kind of problem or what? Is it like that? Something like that?
Tanish, what are you saying?
I'll tell you once I'm done with this current session. I mean,
Okay. Let's bring back the
Don't
seriousness.
touch
Okay.
me.
What is the one thing you wish you can tell your 19-year-old self, basically? Let's start with Joshua this time.
What's one thing I tell my 19-year-old self?
Like one advice you would give, basically.
Can I make it melodramatic? I cannot.
Wait, what?
Can I make it like bit like sad?
it's
Can why not?
But it's,
I already
it's,
know what it's gonna be,
yeah,
but
but
go
I hate when I do that. But the truth is that
Then-
Well,
I get it. I get it.
the truth is
know it as
always
well.
that.
Yeah.
I wish
speak your truth. No matter how many times
Yeah.
you speak it, as long as
Speak
you
it.
speak
Yes,
it.
I
Preach it.
Oh, that's a quotable phrase right there.
do one more time for the quote. For the
Speak the truth. No matter how many times you have to speak it, as long as
அது வந்து
it's the
ஜெயம்
truth.
ரவி படத்துல முன்னால சொல்லிருப்பான்.
Okay.
The truth is, there's obviously we kind of covered all of this. Covered a lot of aspects, finance, and friendships, and all this stuff. Health, for example. But I always, one of the things I really wish I told my 19-year-old self is spend more fucking time with my mother. I always say that only because she's dead now in my 30s, and I always feel your parents' health, right? If you no, you don't need to be dramatic. No need.
Oh shit.
She's
sorry.
dead. I'm aware.
I'm just giving you some brother love, bro.
I'm going to edit this teaser in a way that when you say she's dead, I cut to Kirtan laughing. It's about time we get cancelled again.
See, not make it dramatic. I only do that to without. I mean, to a lot of people. But the truth is, when you're in 30s, you eventually realize your parents are getting old. When you're 30s, now in my case, you know, my mother's no longer around, unfortunately. God bless her soul. But in your in your 20s, you'll have a lot more time that you think to spend time with your parents. I always, again, as I say, youth is wasted on the young, right? Young, when you're in your 20s, you always think of going outwards.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
fine. But you kind of forget the one thing that's constant in your life, which is the ones in inward, the ones inside your home,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And in my case, I would always tell myself, I wish I'd stayed home a lot more. When I was 19, 20, I think I just started college almost 12 years ago. I can't wait. Every day I couldn't wait to go out. I wanted to. I stayed in. I was studying in college in Damansara. To be very honest, I can come back almost every day.
Yeah.
But I thought friends were fun. I was in a relationship at that point, so I thought relationships were fun. I just didn't want to be home. I spoke to my mom every day on the phone only, and I would pull shit to her saying I've got class assignments. Bullshit. But I thought that was live, man. And
My mom asked me why I'm not coming back on Saturdays. I said because I'm recording a podcast. But there's video evidence that this is true. I'm not bullshitting. Sorry, carry on with your point.
So, but now that I think about it, wow, not a single day. Not sorry to make it sad, but not a single day goes without me wishing. I wish I had a call from my mom. And because a lot of, again, in my 30s, I have money. You know what I wanted in my 20s? I wanted money. I wanted to travel. I wanted, to explore the world. I wanted, relationships, girls. Girl.
Oh, girl. Okay.
I wanted one girl which I can settle down with. All the stuff I wanted in my 20s. I have it now. But I don't have someone that I for a fact was I wish was with me as well. So that's what I will tell myself, which is again not to be very honest. Let's be honest. I know it sounds like a damn big boomer. Wow, I'm 30, but I sound like a boomer. But the truth is, no, you don't need to spend every single living minute with your parents. That's what I'm trying to get at. I'm sure your parents are also like, fuck no, don't spend everything because they're also living their life, right?
Correct,
But the truth is, be present, be as much as you can, spend as much as moments. As long as you don't live to regret it. If you ask me, to be very honest, I don't regret that much. Of course, I think I spent a lot of my 20s with my mom. But
You feel like you could have
but even then, I feel damn. I wish she was still here because I can do a lot more for her.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's what I mean by when you're in your 20s, you don't appreciate the time that you have.
Yeah, and also especially in your 20s, I have this one sort of on one sort of thing I realized out of nowhere this one of these days, recently. When you talk to as an adult now, you can talk to another adult, or you can talk to a kid or a teenager. Unless you're really someone who enjoys children and teenagers, you usually, meaning enjoys speaking to them, their company. But unless that's the case, you would tend to have more fulfillment in talking to another adult, right?
Yeah.
Think about it. Your parents, your mom or your dad, they raised you from young. Okay, that relationship was adult children, adult teenager. In your 20s, you're finally an adult. You finally get to have an adult to adult relationship with your parents that a lot of people tend to miss out on. And I have had the pleasure to have had that kind of interaction with my parents, especially in the recent couple of years. And I'll tell you, that's the best sort of interactions I've had with my parents compared to like back when I was a kid. It's like a parent child. It's an adult child. There's a lot of walls in between, you know.
Yeah.
But when you speak to your parents as an adult to an adult, when you finally break that barrier, there is just that's such a unique relationship, which I'm sure all parents would love to have with their kids. Okay, maybe not.
My
all.
mom has never seen one video of me, on the internet.
Yeah.
Let's think about it.
Yeah.
Like I do that for a living now.
Correct.
She's never seen one video of me.
That's pretty.
The adult to adult relationship you can have with your parents is one of the best that you can ever have. And sometimes because, like you said, as we are in our 20s, we tend to look outwards.
Yeah.
We forget to do, because we have this adult interaction with our friends, our colleagues, our potential partners and stuff like that. We tend to forget to have that adult relationship inwards, which is back with our parents, which can be so freaking fulfilling. That a lot of people, I mean, if you guys still have the time out there, if your parents are still out there, go ahead and do it.
Drop them a text right now.
No, go ahead and see them.
No, if you're like far away and stuff like that, don't take anything for granted.
Ketan, what is the one thing you can tell your 19-year-old self?
Okay, let me see. Probably like keep doing you. Okay. Because like I said, no, not the masturbating part. The masturbating part.
He just said stop masturbating and then keep doing you. The guy's like, lip signals, bro. What is this?
Keep doing you in a sense where like keep believing, because you'll eventually get there. But at the same time, like just understand life is fucking unfair. That's just the truth to me. Yeah. Life is just damn unfair. If anyone tells you life is fair, no, it's full of shit. Life is unfair, but it's okay. That's just how life is. It's all about give and take.
Podcast
it's all about
motivational, right?
I don't know, but as long as it's therapeutic to this guy, it's fine, I guess.
Yeah. Life is unfair, but it's okay. You work your ass off. You do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Life is all about ups and downs, and honestly, life has so much to offer. So much to offer, My dad gave me this advice, which is very similar to what Joshua just said just now as well. Like youth.
Does that make me your daddy?
No, fuck no. But
Youth is wasted on the young.
Yeah, youth is wasted on the young, yes. But my dad told me this when I was probably 24 or 25. He said time is gold. Okay, he said time is gold. Basically, it's the one thing you can spend and never get back. It's not like money. It's not like anything else. Truth be told. So he said time, you don't realize it, but just in the blink of an eye, is a year. It's been 3 years since COVID, for example.
Yeah.
Right? It's just like that, correct? And to put it in perspective,
Zoom into
you were
Joshua's
in your 20s back then.
crisis. When COVID
to put it in
started.
perspective, you were in your 20s back then.
When
right?
COVID started.
Your late 20s, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But that's the truth, right? But time just passes by that quick, So make every second count, okay? Spend it with the people you love, your time and all that. And don't take anything for granted, honestly speaking. That honestly is the advice I would give to my 19-year-old self.
Right.
Yeah.
For me, I would say, I think one thing is that get ready for a ride of your freaking lifetime.
Yeah.
When if I go back to my 19-year-old self, and I would say, get ready for a ride of your freaking lifetime. Know that you're gonna achieve a few things. Know that you're gonna grow up a lot. You're gonna achieve a lot of things. You're going, and you might think, wow, I've achieved a lot, and then you'll realize you can do so much more. And there's that. Because I spent a lot of my early 20s also thinking, after achieving a certain level of what in my definition was success back then, I thought, yeah, you know what, this is great, because I never thought I'll be here. And I used to slow down a little bit. And then it took people around me like Joshua and a lot of people to sort of come and say, dude, there's still a lot more that we can go ahead and do. And that's why I'm very thankful for my friends. But And then and when I sort of got into that, you know what? I've been chilling. I've been in my comfort zone. Let's get back again. Let's push further and further again. I started achieving more and more that I never thought, I never even dreamed of. And even as I achieve those things, I realize now that there's even further that I can go, and I still have the age, and I still have. So know that they say that sky is limit, which is freaking cliche, Yanda.
Yes,
You said
the age. I wish I could say this.
You still have the age also, okay?
You still do, bro. You're
When
fucking
2
young.
more years from
When
down the road,
someone tells you still have the age, that means you don't have the age.
No. Two more years down the road, when we're 30, we'll make a podcast talking shit about the 40-year-olds. Okay, then you're gonna feel like we're all in the same piece in a pod or whatever they call it. Okay, so that's one thing. But also know that as high as you can go, there's also doesn't mean it'll just keep going higher and higher. There is gonna be lows.
Yes, sir.
You might go to a point where you haven't had lows for a while, that you think you're a bit invincible. You tend to have. I did have that feeling for a bit, and I know a lot of people around me who sort of had that kind of thing. But there is going to be lows as well.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And people most of the time are optimistic. You know, like it's like gambling, right? You win once or twice, you think you're gonna win the third time, you're gonna win the fourth time, and that's just normal. But it's gonna be there. Those lows are gonna be there. The lows are gonna come. If it doesn't come in your 20s, it might still come in your 30s. It might still come in your 40s. But basically, anticipate both of this and just do all you can. Like some people are like, oh, I can never achieve those kind of highs, so they never try to because they don't want to get disappointed. But do all you can. Try as hard as you can. And some people are like sometimes afraid of the lows. So again, they try and tend to live like a very cagey lifestyle. I don't want to put myself in such a position where I might potentially fail. You can't do that, because if you try to predict this and you try to anticipate it and try to like control it, you're never gonna live.
100%.
So enjoy the highs, go through the lows, know that both of it will come and go, and you just gotta freaking live that shit out.
Yeah, man.
And
just feel every part of it, bro. That's what makes you fucking human being, you know.
Look at his
That's
boomer
it.
motherfucker, 28-year-old, 32-year-old, Jesus Christ.
Exactly. All right, should we move to the IG part of it?
Let's go.
Do you have anything else you want to add on? No? Yes? No? Okay, let's not add on. Let's not take too long. They are gonna hate us. Okay, let's go.
All right, guys. IG questions. We're gonna keep this quick. We're gonna keep this rapid. We're going to start with Kirtan's IG question. What is it?
So my question was basically, what was the one mistake that you made that basically was life-changing to you all?
In your 20s?
Yeah, in your 20s.
Okay,
in
let's
your
do
20s.
this quick.
Okay.
Let's go.
So the first one, this was pretty heartwarming to me, okay? I was a meth addict for 2.5 years. I'm now 7+ years clean.
Okay, what? Trigonometry, additional mathematics, all okay, what?
The whole experience has changed me. Dude,
Hey,
I wanted
have you
to
watched
just give...
Cobra, Vikram?
He was a math addict.
Okay, no, but jokes aside,
Sorry.
we need to give this guy a shout out.
Yes.
Man, okay? It's
But
just a
we
dude.
can't say out his name.
Don't
say his name.
No, I'm
Say
not
out
gonna
his
say his
name.
name, but we just gotta give him a shout out. Okay?
Shout outs to you, sir.
I'm pretty sure there's so many people out there right now struggle with like drug addiction, nicotine addiction, whatever addiction you all have, right? But drug addiction is one of the biggest addictions right now, right?
Yeah.
And drugs are so easily accessible actually nowadays. And for
Right.
you, dude.
How do you know? Okay.
Yeah, but,
Moving on.
But for real, okay? 2.5 years, he was a meth addict.
Okay.
Meth, okay? This is
And
like
that's
some
quite-
Breaking Bad shit right here, alright? But
Joshua
he's
still trying to figure out what
7+,
math is.
7+ years clean. Congrats to you, man. Alright? Anyone out there who are literally struggling with anything that you are right now, this guy right here is a good example.
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
get out of it, okay? Life
Do
changing.
you know what's math? Because I feel like you're still trying to figure it out.
I'm assuming, but you said Breaking Bad, so I'm assuming it's drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It is. It's not
yeah.
mathematics, yeah. Just
It's something like
something.
that.
Something.
Is, is it legal in certain places?
No,
No.
it's not legal anyway.
It's not
Okay.
legal anywhere.
Okay.
Same.
Second one. Okay, this is from a girl, okay? Trusting the wrong people, in bracket, but you just don't see it coming. Like, it is what it is in the end. Okay? So trusting the wrong people, basically life-changing. It can be, right? It teaches you lessons. You kind of, build your walls up, red flags, you see stuff like that. And then next time you meet someone else, could be relationship, could be
But
friendship.
never
I'm not
stop
crying
trusting
because of
people.
that story. There got a lot of lights on my face. Sorry,
Okay.
just letting you know.
It's okay. No,
We've been doing this for like 5 episodes. Got no issues. What a snowflake.
I don't know. Suddenly he's having...
Yeah, right in the middle,
snowflake.
got a light on my face.
Right, okay. But also, don't stop trusting people. Because...
Yeah, don't.
Yeah, because then what kind of life would that be?
Yeah, I mean, don't trust anyone.
What are you trying to say here? Joshua, break the tie. Break the tie.
Be a good guy, don't be a nice guy.
Yeah.
Be a good girl, don't
Give
be a
the
nice
video
girl.
a thumbs up.
This
for
is
that.
why we need 3 people in the podcast because we need to cut the tie. Because sometimes Kirtan and I are just saying the opposite fucking shit. Okay, next.
Okay. Next one. This is from a girl as well. Getting back together with my ex, in bracket now broken up, made me who I am today. Help me appreciate my current BF. Amazing.
Getting back with it.
Amazing.
The whole relationship thing, like you can never, I don't know, lah, but
No,
can
you
never
always
really
learn.
regret
Yeah,
relationships.
you always learn from it, Unless you choose to just be a dick after that. You know
So
what
why
I
you so
mean?
quiet?
Yeah.
I can't relate.
He's still thinking about mental.
No, I've got,
He's still there.
I've got light in my eyes.
Okay, but I love this. I think I can
Yeah,
relate to
yeah.
this a lot as well. That's why.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Next one. This is from a dude. Okay. Prioritizing family over myself.
That's a mistake?
I gave it all. Struggles of an older son without a dad. And this is something should be heard.
Yeah. I think that's also something that should be addressed. Not
Yes.
everybody has
A father or a mother.
same type of family.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
Some people genuinely have a fucked up family or a
Yes.
parent or so.
Yes.
And we cannot say at the end of the day it's your mom. At the end of the day it's
That's
your dad.
true. That's true.
Because
That's
to
true.
some people it genuinely doesn't apply.
Yes.
You know?
Like to me, my parents are my role models. And maybe probably to you guys as well, right? But to some people out there, they just have fucked up parents.
My mom is dead.
But she was a role. That's why you're such a kind, nice, handsome, good-looking guy, right? So
I'm still going to take that part, cut it with you laughing.
No, so I just add, I know we're kind of skipping through things. To that person, again, who the fuck am I to give advice? I'm not giving advice. I'm only talking about this because I relate to a lot because obviously I have an elder brother. I grew up in a family of 3 elder brothers. So my eldest brother, I relate to that struggle a lot because my eldest brother always played the role of like another husband in the family. It felt like he was a father to the family, and that's the most shittiest thing because he lost his 20s. I completely get that, so I'm not making fun of it. He lost his 20s trying to play a father role, where he just had to play the role of a son.
Yeah.
So that's actually, and especially Indian families. Let's address
Yeah.
that. Indian families do a lot. A lot of those mistakes happens in Indian families. They make the eldest son as another father figure to all the siblings, and that sort of kind of fucks you up mentally. You think you have to do so much more as a eldest son, and that sort of has a very huge impact on your psychological and physiological thing. I relate to it because I have an elder brother who is now probably struggling in his 40s. I'm sorry for that. Yeah.
And the best thing is for you to break that with you. Break that cycle. Because sometimes these things happens as sort of like a generational thing.
Yeah.
Like whatever
Yeah.
trauma you went through from a family
Yeah,
as a
yeah,
child,
yeah.
you tend to sort of do the same thing to your kid, and then that sort of tends to go. But try to break that cycle with you, and hopefully moving
But
forward.
again, we can't give answers. To be honest,
Yeah,
there's no
yeah,
solutions
you
to
can't,
it.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
addressing it. I just want to address it because I'm not trying to give a solution. I just want to address it, saying that
it is heard.
I completely,
We hear you.
I completely
We hear
hear
you,
that
man. We
because
hear
I have a real life
Yeah,
example
yeah,
in
yeah.
my
Sending you lots of
family.
love, bro.
Yeah.
All right, but keep doing you. I'm pretty sure your younger brothers or your siblings or whoever, they look up to you as well,
And they appreciate you.
and they definitely
Even if they
appreciate you.
don't figure out something, I'm sure you will. Yeah.
Okay, next one. All right, so this is from a girl. Let others took decision on my studies. Ended up being in a final year engineering as a failed student.
Tanesh, is that you?
Sounds like me and Tanesh.
Yeah, that's my fake account. No, actually, I didn't let other people. I chose engineering, but
Yeah.
okay, let's talk about from a point of view of where you already are.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, whatever the reason was, yes, I guess she regrets it is
Yeah.
life changing. But
Yeah.
if you're still in your 20s, that's still
It's not too late.
it's still not too
It's
late.
still not too late. Even if you're in 30s, it's still not too late. Actually,
We
honestly.
acknowledge that okay, you might be not in the position that you want to be in, but there is still you can still do the fact that you've acknowledged it.
Yes.
You can maybe speak to your family about it and stuff like that, and try to put yourself back onto the path that you think you want to be in.
Yeah.
And we hope, because we don't have much other
Yeah,
context to
we
go
don't.
with.
We don't.
We hope that you are successful.
But
in that.
I'm also bringing this up because I know there's a lot of younger audience watching. So before they let anyone else make the decision for them, you take your parents' input. That's very important.
No, sorry to be the boomer here. If you let someone else take decision on your studies, that means you have no fucking clue what you want to study.
Exactly.
I always say this to sorry to sound like a a person who's not being optimistic about it. But the
1 hour
truth is,
4 minutes for you to use
Yeah,
the
the truth-
fucking word, but carry on.
the truth is, if someone else is taking decision on your studies, that means you're not convinced on what you want to do, and you're so vulnerable that the other person has so much. The other person thinks
Yes.
you're not clear, so
Yeah.
I'll make the decision for you. So
Yes.
if you don't want someone else to take a decision for you on your studies, know what
Yeah.
you want to study, do a lot of
Yeah.
research.
Yeah.
I would, because that's what I did. To be
But
honest.
I also have to think sometimes you because when in your 17s and your 18s you a lot of what you can do is dependent on your family as well. Sometimes, and I know it's as simple as a Google search, as simple as a this or that. But some people are genuinely not given the tools or genuinely not shown the way to, or not exposed to the fact that they can do all this. Sometimes they come up with they are brought up in a way that they are like, I need to follow whatever they say. And some people are there, but whichever point it is that you do, what Joshua said is true, but also at whichever point that you do sort of recognize that, okay, I've allowed external factors to affect my life. At that point, if you don't go and change your life, then you're being a fool. At that point, you really have to just grasp at it and go at it.
Next one. Okay. So this is from a guy. Ignored my friends for a girl, which end up getting dumped. Okay, this is such a guy thing to do. I'm going to put this out there because even I used to be like that as well. Okay, guys, so if you all find a girlfriend, your girlfriend loves you, she'll be understanding enough. That's one. Number two, sometimes it's not because the girlfriend's not understanding. You just want to give your everything to a certain point where you forget your friends. Never forget your roots, right? Never forget your roots. Your brothers or your sisters.
If you ignored your friends for a girl, it's not the girl's problem, it's your problem.
It's your fault. It's your fault. It really is, Unless the girl tells you like, hey,
and that's why he says it's his mistake. Like, it's necessarily,
correct.
Regardless whether the girl dumped you or not, there's nothing to do with the girl. Because what is it? Let's say if your girl didn't dump you and you guys were still together, does that mean it was okay that you ignored your friend?
The mistake is being friends with them.
Correct. So don't ignore your friends. Your roots, bro. Never forget your roots.
See, we understand that initial phase where you forget the entire world and you can only think about that person.
Correct.
If a true friend, all true friends will actually be like, okay, the guy is in that phase, let him go through it. But beyond that phase, if you still just say, I don't want anything else, this alone is enough, well, that's your priorities. But then I guess he has grown to regret that. So I hope you found back your friends, or I hope you are doing better with your current friends, I guess.
And this works the same for both girls and guys.
Yes. All right, let's go.
Okay, next one. Okay, this is from a girl. I cheated on my BF with another guy.
Okay.
But that guy then broke up with me.
Okay.
And married someone else.
Well, that's just karma.
So that is just life in a full ass circle.
Yeah.
No, that is a Tamil movie.
Is it?
That is many Tamil movies.
Sorry, I'm not making fun of it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think she's just trying to say like, okay, that was her mistake. She realized like, okay, karma is real. Whatever you do, it will come back to you as well eventually.
Yeah. See, the thing is, the guy dumped you and married someone else, so you learn the lessons now. If not, you would have still learned the lesson. It would just taken you a longer time. It would have just hurt much.
The mistake is don't cheat in a relationship.
Yeah, don't cheat. Don't cheat. Stay loyal, bro.
Yeah.
Okay.
Date a guy that ugly, so you won't marry someone else.
Next one.
I was going to say something.
That's a better advice.
You did me right. It's a ugly right. I'm not going to bite that. I got other bigger things.
Like?
Goals.
Oh, okay. Okay. Last one. This is a bit similar. Okay. So this is from a guy. No, not like that. Spend too much time chasing girls. The foolishness you feel after wasting an entire day somehow. Okay, that's what.
SMH is somehow. I always thought
shake my head.
I thought shoot my head.
Shoot what?
Okay, so it's not
head.
Somehow.
I think it's shake my head.
I thought shoot my head.
Oh my goodness! So all this while I was the dumb one.
Shoot my head, right?
Hold on.
Wait.
I'm 32.
Entire day. SMH is shake my head. Right?
Shoot my head.
Somehow.
Like
shake my head.
Shoot my head.
Somehow.
Tell us in the comments
question for this episode. This is the question for
today.
today.
The girl is, I don't give a shit about your life. I just want to know, SMH is shoot my head.
Somehow.
Swedish Mafia House.
Next question.
No, but this was the last one. Just to answer this guy, spend too much time chasing girls. I think we've all been there. Can't speak for Joshua, but spend too much time
chase me. Shoot my head.
It's a double-edged sword sort of shit. Like,
yeah. Like, I mean, you will spend some time chasing. You will kind of realize what you want after that.
Because that is a primary need in our life.
Yes,
like
correct.
That you want partners. You want
companionship. You want to be loved.
You don't need to run.
Yeah.
Just drive. Don't need to chase them. Just drive. Next.
Okay, I'm done with my questions basically.
All right, so let's move on to mine. So my question was, what is the stupidest
Your
mistake?
question is the girl who was chased.
These are all the people on the
my
other
time
side.
being chased by a guy. Shoot my head.
It was scary because he had like shoot my head. SMH.
Okay, let's go.
So my question was, what's the stupidest mistake you've done in your 20s that you regret? But most of it is not really technically. Some of it is stupid. Some of it is actually serious stuff.
I'll tell you, I'm bringing Joshua on the show right now.
That's true.
Yeah.
And we are still 20, so this qualifies.
This qualifies.
Shoot my head.
All right, I'm gonna go quick now. All right, number one is this girl getting drunk and telling stupidest mistakes are getting drunk and telling my boyfriend that I have feelings for someone else, and then we broke up. Bracket regret.
I'm so sorry, but it's kind of on you.
Yeah, I mean, some people say when you get drunk, the truth comes up.
The mistake is don't drink alcohol.
Yeah. So don't drink alcohol. Be sober
Actually,
and lie to his face every day.
I have a message. No, drink alcohol responsibly. Drink
No, not here. Not on this platform.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the thing,
Drink
they say
water.
drunk talks are sober thoughts.
Sober thoughts. That's why our advice is don't drink. Just lie to his face straight while being sober.
Or you can just drink responsibly.
We're getting drunk and telling. Well, let's talk. Let's just delve a bit more heart to heart.
Okay, hard to
Getting drunk and telling my boyfriend that I have feelings for someone else. What does that mean actually? You think then what does that supposed to mean for that someone? Have you all been in that position?
No, because
I actually have.
What you told someone that you have feeling.
Yeah.
You
Like
were drunk.
this
You told your the partner in the relationship at that point that you have feelings for someone else.
No, I didn't say feelings. I just called her my ex's name.
Oh,
Shoot my head.
shake my head.
Somehow I did that, Somehow. Shit. No, but it's a mistake that I'm willing to admit. Admit, okay? But no, for real. I made that mistake. I'm not proud of it, obviously, but I learned
No,
from
but let's
it.
let me put it in.
But maybe she faked being drunk. She wasn't drunk. She just wanted a way to get it out and then blame it on I was drunk.
Could be.
I have feelings. Okay, still, so means you still had feelings for that person.
Yeah. For someone else, it might not be their ex. It might just be somebody.
If I was the guy, then I know what is the mistake. Dating that girl.
Okay,
let's go
moving
next
on to
one.
the next one. Stupidest mistake. I'm 22. I have nothing beside my SPM CJL. This is not really a mistake, but I wanted to address this. I'm 22. I have nothing beside my SPM CJL. I just got pass mark in SPM. My bank balance is 0. What should I do? Help. Quick one. Because
Okay.
Straight up.
Truth be told, okay, I'm
Summary?
assuming why
22 only has done SPM, haven't done degree, diploma, whatever. No
So
tertiary
if anyone's
education.
watching this, I'm laughing now because of the question. There's something else in my head. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before it gets short. Bank balance 0. What should I do?
Okay, reality check right now. Okay, you don't honestly at this point in life, the times we live in, you don't need a degree to actually start something. You can pick up a skill just on YouTube, Google. At this point, you even have ChatGPT, AI, and everything like that. Go invest in yourself.
Or start a podcast.
And you're 20. Start a podcast. But you are 20.
podcast start பண்ணிருக்கேன் இல்லையா?
Okay, wait, listen. You're 20 fucking 2.
Yeah.
You're 22. You have all the fucking time in the world. Go do your shit. Okay.
Or what do you do? Go back to the start of this podcast and look at all the mistakes that we did.
Yes, and
then you don't repeat.
Yes.
In all
Okay.
honesty, 22 is, as much as Indian parents might say, all that stuff, 22 is still a very, very young age.
You're so
The
young.
important part is that you recognize that you have to do
self-awareness
something.
is there.
Yeah, you
No,
could be
but
32 and you can
yeah.
still do something.
Yes.
And just to not to be that another like optimistic point here, to be very honest.
You fucked up. You're gone. Done.
No, not that. The very fact. Again, I'm sorry for bringing this up very bluntly. It's a very Indian mentality. What I mean by that is that statement alone, my bank balance is 0. The truth is, I'm sure your bank balance is not 0.
Have you seen my bank balance?
You have what I mean by that is, if no one's bank balance is 0. What I mean is
Minimum is 10 ringgit.
You're probably broke. You're probably broke.
Exactly. Plus, you have a phone, which means you're using social media, which
Correct.
means so what I mean is we always get into this space of the world is like doom and gloom, and if you're gonna have that at the age of 22, good luck when you're 30, because I know people who are literally with 0 bank balance.
Yeah.
Hi, it's me.
You think we are joking?
So what I mean is, it's we first.
Can I pause? City scored on the first minute.
Oh my god. Okay.
So there's worse things out there, like being a Man United
Like
fan.
Man United fan. And FA
Yeah.
Cup is going on.
Yeah.
Sorry guys.
But you know what? After this video, go back and check out episode 4. How you can make money out of your passion. I think that's a very good one for you as well.
Right. Okay, I've lost all mood now.
Okay.
Kidding.
Okay, let's go. Let's keep
Next
going.
one. Okay. Okay, for context, as we are recording this, it is the Saturday. It's
FA Cup final.
It's the FA Cup final. The match just started.
Yes.
Holy
We're a little
Man
late, so let's go. We got like 5 minutes.
Alright,
Let's go. 5 minutes.
okay.
Let's go.
Stupidest mistake in my 20s that I regret. My first proper kiss was with the wrong guy. That at that point I thought it was the right guy. Girl,
But the kiss was proper. Hey.
My first proper... okay. Listen. If everybody is trying to have the first kiss with the right person...
There's no
I
such
can't
thing.
be kissing everybody, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Like,
it's a stupid joke because I'm pissed that United is losing. I get stressed and I make dumb jokes. Sorry.
No, listen. You'll never know what the hell will happen. Just if you're in that space where you're gonna kiss the guy. If you like him in that particular point of time,
Just kiss the guy. It's fine.
And then later on, you guys break up or this or that. He's the wrong guy. That's later. Let the later part of it.
And the very
deal with
fact
that.
that this comes under what's your mistake?
Stupid
then
mistake.
that itself is wrong because it's not a mistake.
it's not a mistake.
It's a history. It's a past.
Yeah, you can't be regretting
In
stuff.
that logic,
like
then everything else in your life has to be a mistake. In
Correct.
that sense, right? Because all it's just
You're
an
too
event,
wise for this
an
show.
event. At that point of time when you made it,
Mm.
it wasn't a mistake. So I think that's how you.
That's the only thing you could
deal
do.
with it.
Did you know as you were
Like if
kissing
you thought
the
he
guy,
was a rapist and then you kissed him, then I think
Yeah.
you're a mistake.
Correct.
Correct, what? When I kissed this person, he was a correct person. That's not a mistake.
Yeah, if you didn't have to say rapist, but basically,
Okay.
what if you
don't kiss a rapist.
As you were,
How would she know if he was a rapist?
Exactly, but if you knew when he kissed the person, that's a mistake.
Yeah, okay, got it.
Basically, when you were kissing the guy, you know in your head there was a mistake, then that's a mistake.
That's a mistake.
But at that time, it felt all great.
if you found out like 5 years later that he's married at that point, then it was not a mistake.
was not a mistake.
He was
Moving
just
on.
a fool.
No, it's not. It's fine, complete.
Just don't kiss anyone.
Okay,
lah.
next one.
Okay.
Stupidest
Just
mistake
keep
in my
it simple.
20s. The day my appa called me and I didn't answer and I text him that I'm busy. Now I feel regret because he's in heaven.
Okay.
Well, Joshua covered that aspect
Yeah.
of it to a
No,
certain
my dad is
extent.
still alive.
I'm talking about the other side. But basically, we spoke about parents and all that
Yeah.
stuff. So that is something I actually hold very distinct. Every time I get a call from my parents, I never not pick up. And I don't care what situation I'm in. I never not pick up. Or if I couldn't pick up, whatever it is, I stop. And I say, it's
That's
my
your
mom
phone
or it's
call.
my dad. Can I just pick it up and just make sure everything's okay?
Yeah.
And I speak, and then I say, if it's nothing serious, then I say, okay, I'm in a meeting or I'm in this or that. Can I just call you back? And I make sure I call them back because I've read a lot of people. I've heard a lot of people have this kind of regrets, and that's one regret, touch wood, that I never want to have in my life because I know it will kill me.
Yeah. If your parents are alive right now, go and tell them that you love them. If they're far away, give them a call, drop them a text, just check up on them. All right. Just show them love, man. All right. That's the least they deserve.
Moving on. Next one. Should we go to the next one? All right. This is a interesting one. Stupidest mistake in your 20s. Okay, this may seem ridiculous, but I wish I wasn't too responsible and I did mess up. So this girl played it too safe.
Played it too safe type.
And I guess it was... She feels like she could have... I'm assuming you feel like you could have done more, you could have explored more, you could have did more when you were probably you didn't have enough commitment. You didn't have as much commitments in your life to sort of hold you in this one strict path, I guess. Joshua, what do you have to say about that? That's the best person. You're the best person to ask.
Again, there's they call it there's anything extreme. Even if it's fun, it's wrong. Even if it's boredom, it's I think that the point is find that balance.
Yeah.
But that, again, as you said, we have been talking about for almost an hour now. There's the balance. You'd only find it when you look for it.
Yeah.
In this case, I think this person who said it at that point of doing, I don't think they realized it as I'm being too responsible.
Yeah.
That's also wrong. But what I mean is, spend your 20s finding that balance.
Correct.
We both only like a lot of us will only come to this point of time when we're in your 30s and wish, actually this thing called balance lah.
Yeah.
I should probably go out. I should have gone out a bit more. But at that point of time of doing, you really didn't think about it as I need to find a balance. So.
Yeah.
I guess again, I said this is a good for whoever that's in your.
It's actually it was an interesting point to me because it's sort of opposite to what we sort of think. All right, moving on.
Take the risk.
Tattooing my then boyfriend's initials.
Oh.
Have any of you guys got any? I mean, you don't have a tattoo, right? Do you?
No.
I don't have a tattoo. You're the only one with a tattoo, right?
Yes, I have.
Do you regret any of your tattoos?
Your boyfriend's initials?
No. I had one of my exes. One of her exes
You got a tattoo of your ex's
her
ex.
initials tattooed like on his arm or back or some shit like that.
Okay, hold on.
It's just a funny story.
Can I summarize this point?
Yes.
Somebody you know had their exes tattoo.
Someone you used to go out with had a tattoo of their ex's.
No. So one, you know what? Fuck it lah. I'm not gonna say it already. It's just too long.
Okay, but
That's what she said.
But have you ever considered getting a romantic partner's name
not
or
really.
initials or
Not
whatever
really.
in it?
Nah.
Is it while you're in a relationship also?
No, never.
I'll
Because
do
you
it.
were
I'll do it when I'm married.
Okay, do you think the three of us should do it?
Our
As-
ex's initials?
as-
No.
someone-
No,
as
I
someone-
meant the friendship initial.
I'm not getting my wife's name on
I'm
a
a
tattoo.
good guy,
You think
but I'm
gonna
not a
get
nice
your
guy.
name?
I don't trust
Yeah.
anyone. Kirtan,
Shake my head.
shoot my head.
Okay, moving on. No, I don't think. I mean, yeah, I guess laser treatment to clear it up. I guess, but
Yeah. Or you can just honestly do another
No, but
pattern
there's-
over it,
there's
try to
a
cover it.
laughing
That's
emoji,
about it.
right?
no, it's the crying emoji.
She's crying lah. Come on, is it she or he?
You can add the crying emoji to the tattoo, so it looks like you regretted that.
Yeah, you can cover up.
Always
This
honestly.
remember
is
your
an example
mistakes.
of who I shouldn't date.
Yeah.
Mm.
Or you can also
Correct.
remove it. Honestly,
Shoot my
you can.
Okay.
Yeah. Somehow.
Okay, next one. Love the girl one side. Now I'm in depression because she threw me out of her life. I feel it's a
You
mistake.
should have moved to.
To the other side. Is it okay? Okay, let's give a serious answer because he sounds like he's going through some stuff. Is it a he or she?
I
He.
know this guy.
Yeah, I know this guy as well.
Nice boy.
Hey, don't say his name. Oh my god.
He's in the house.
Now I need to go to the thing and block it.
There's a lot of.
Then don't keep saying it. I'm censoring it. Oh my
It's
god.
not. That's the most famous I know.
Oh
Okay.
my.
Editor,
It's not.
Wayne editing this. All the best. Listen, if you love someone and you are sad because she threw you
Do
over
we
this
give
or
out
that,
life
whatever.
solutions?
We don't give solutions. We
Well,
just
I
give
actually
advice
can.
from our
I actually
perspective.
feel the guy right now.
Okay,
So can
tell.
you give me some advice? No, I'm feeling
you-
the same with him. So can you give me some advice
Really?
too?
Okay. Never regret loving someone.
Even if it's one side.
Yeah, okay, if this is the true love that we're talking about, love, that is not something that you can pick and choose also. You come across people in your life, you tend to love somebody, you can't regret it, right? It happens, right? You might wish that, I wish I didn't love that person, but that's just, it's, I guess that's what regret is lah. But what I mean is, you can't. I don't think it qualifies as a mistake per se. It's never a mistake. Because if it's a mistake, it's a choice that you could have stopped it.
The mistake, now that you're looking back, right? The mistake should, again, sometimes I think, again, now in my 30s, I just realize the way we term things is always affects a lot of the things. The way we term things affects the way we look at it. The mistake that this person, the mistake that is saying,
Okay.
the mistake that he's telling is actually. Let me clarify this. Let me tell you how to live your life. The mistake is loving this person is not the mistake. Obviously, you can't change it now. You loved this person. Loving this person is not the mistake. Not knowing your worth is the mistake.
Yeah.
So never, when you tell someone what was my
100%.
mistake, I loved that girl. That's my mistake. No, the girl didn't kind of tatla poo achi, please love me. She didn't ask. The girl probably took you for granted, and you kept loving this person despite what has happened. So you not knowing your worth is the mistake.
Correct.
So because the moment you define the mistake like that, you won't repeat it, not just in relationships, at work, in your relation, your friendship, in your family, in your career. You will be able to then identify it easier. Because if you think loving a girl who doesn't love you back is the mistake, then forevermore you would love someone that doesn't love you back.
Is this?
I also love Rashmika Mandana. Do you think Rashmika Mandana gives a fuck about who I am? No.
Nobody gives a Rashmika Mandana also in movies that she acts in. Think about it. She appears for like 7 minutes.
I'm triggered. I'm gonna go on Twitter.
All right, our memory card is about to end, so I'm
Oh
gonna
my
skip to
goodness.
the last one.
Okay, let's go.
This is the best one. I'll save the best for last. Okay. The stupidest mistake you did in your 20s that you regret now.
Okay.
Watching Chill and Spill.
Waiting for Bud Up season 2.
Okay, guys. Yes. Fuck y'all.
All right, that's the episode. Our memory card is legit gonna die, so I'm gonna quickly wrap this up. Thank you very
Okay.
much for watching. I hope you guys learned a lot of stuff. This is Tanish.
Yeah, this is Kirtan.
This is Joshua Michael.
Thank you all for watching. Lots of love. Give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. All right.
Don't give the video a thumbs up like
Alright.
this. You gotta go and click on thumbs
And
up.
let us
button.
know what the hell SMH means.
What's the question? Is that the question?
Yeah, what's
What?
SMH?
S-
They will all know. Like a proper question.
SMH
Come on.
means shoot my head.
What is the biggest
Somehow.
mistake in your 20s? Let us know.
Yeah.
Bud Up season 2 comes out this
The
year.
man-
That's
The
what I
IT
mean.
segment already?
Huh? Sorry?
Bud Up season 2 comes out this
Okay,
year.
never mind, it's okay.
Bud Up season 2
Can you
comes
think
out.
of a question before our memory
Bud Up
card
season
dies?
2 comes out
I
this
don't
year.
think
Ashwin
so.
Min. Please subscribe. Sorry, I'm
So-
talking.
Subscribe to ChillNSpill.
Basic. So question.
Until next time.
The question is, when do you think Bud Up season 2 will come up?
No lah. Okay, the question is, comment down below. Two things, okay? You want number one, number two. Number one, what is the biggest advice you will give to your younger self? It could be like last month, last week. 2 hours to go before you watch the podcast. All that what's your advice you give to your younger self? Put it in the comments below. Number 2, what is SMH means?
Yes.
Yeah.
This too,
and
we need to know.
I'll answer the question. I wish I didn't have hope that United will win this final. Can we go watch the stuff?
We're gonna watch the
Glory,
game
glory,
now.
man.
Alright guys, ciao.
Alright,
Thank you for
bye.
watching.
See you.